Welcome back to the Outside the Rope studio for this SummerSlam 2015 special. I'm your host of Outside the Ropes, as always, Matthew Muir. Welcome back to this show. We were on the air last night, guys, for our NXT pre-show, but tonight it's now all about SummerSlam, which is tonight taking place in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. What a jam-packed card we have tonight on the pay-per-view itself, available on pay-per-view and the WWE Network. But SummerSlam has got a lot of heat coming into tonight, as they're going to have to try and top the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn show last night, which we're going to briefly mention here before we get into the card and answer some of your questions and predictions for tonight's show. Now, we have got a guest in the studio tonight. We've got a young lady here who was on the show a few weeks ago. She was very, very popular. Actually, a lot of people on Twitter were asking for this young lady to come back on again. She's a big wrestling fan. She's only 10-year-old, but she's more into her old school wrestling. She likes more of her old WWF and WWF and also WCW stuff and NWA wrestling from back in the day more than the modern stuff. It's young Brooke who's joining me here on the podcast very, very shortly to give her predictions for tonight's SummerSlam as well. But last night's NXT TakeOver, what an event from Brooklyn. Unreal from top to bottom. Oh, what an absolute fantastic show. We had crowned new tag team champions. The Vaudevillains defeated Blake and Murphy in a fantastic match. Unreal, guys. The crowd last night for every match on that show was super. A lot of the matches were actually, taped and happened before the event started. I know a lot of you watched the pre-show and saw the fans filling in, but that pre-show was pre-recorded, and there was matches taped, I presume, for an episode of NXT maybe, or maybe even an extra on the network or something, I don't know. But the matches on the actual event itself on the WWE Network were super. We had Triple H starting the show off as well, but we'll have new tag team champions in the Vaudevillains. We've got a new NXT Women's Champion, and in my opinion, the match of the night between Bayley and Sasha Banks. Big entrances for the two of them in that match as well, especially Sasha Banks coming out in the car with her own bodyguards. But new NXT Women's Champion, and Fergal Devitt, Finn Balor has retained the NXT Championship by defeating Kevin Owens in a ladder match. We also had Samoa Joe victorious last night as well. We had Justin Thunder Liger defeating Tyler Breeze. But overall, guys, the event last night has really raised the bar for the main roster guys for SummerSlam tonight in the same arena in Brooklyn, New York. A lot of people were talking to us on Twitter and Facebook and emails today asking us what's going to happen, what we think is going to happen tonight. But we've got the card here. We're going to go through the card for tonight's show and give our view. Well, I'm going to give you my views first of all, and I'm going to bring in our guest very shortly, young Brooke, who's actually going to watch the event live tonight, which I know a lot of people are saying, why is a 10-year-old sitting up late in the UK? Well, she has no school tomorrow, and she's been good today, and she went for a sleep, she told me today, to rest up for tonight's pay-per-view, because she's looking forward to some matches on tonight's pay-per-view. So, SummerSlam tonight, guys, here we go. Let's get stuck into the card. Now, I haven't actually quite heard what the pre-show match is just yet, but I'll go through some of the matches tonight anyway. Returning Dolph Ziggler taking on Rusev tonight. We have Randy Orton versus Mr. Money in the Bank Sheamus. Cesaro versus a very angry and frustrated Kevin Owens. A match that everybody keeps talking about as well. King Barrett and Stardust versus Stephen Amell and Neville. We also have Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper versus Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. We've got the women's elimination match as well. We have a fatal four-way for the WWE Tag Team titles. We also have a triple threat for the Intercontinental title with The Miz and The Big Show and Ryback. We've also got a big match everybody keeps talking about, winner takes all, with the United States Champion John Cena, we'll have to talk about him, against World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, and the big one, Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. Now, I've been asked on my personal Twitter account today, and also asked by email, what's my views on certain matches tonight and which matches stands out for me. It's got to be the big one for me tonight, Brock and The Undertaker. I'm going to be pulling, and a lot of you guys are not going to be happy with this, but I'm going to be pulling for Brock Lesnar tonight, so I am. I think Brock's going to win. I think somebody's maybe going to appear. A lot of people are saying, oh, Sting's going to turn up tonight and interfere and jump in. And if it happens, it'll be awesome, but I can't really see it happening, to be quite honest with you. But you never know. With WWE, you never know. Other match stands out as well has to be the winner takes all match with Cena and Rollins. Guys, I'm sorry, I have to pull for Rollins. If Cena becomes a 16-time world champion, I think I will scream on this show coming up this Wednesday, where we'll review the pay-per-view and obviously Raw and all the latest news and stuff like that, as we always do. I think I'll scream, so well, but there you go. Intercontinental title match, you can see the big guy retaining his title tonight. Tag team title match, guys, I have to pull for the primetime players. If the New Day win the tag team titles again, oh, good God almighty, I think I'll cry. The women's match I'm looking forward to as well. I'm going to be pulling for Paige, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch in that one. After the performance from last night with the Divas, or women, whatever we want to call them now. They have a lot to put on the line tonight because last night's women's match was off the chain. Kevin Owens Cesaro match I'm looking forward to as well. Other matches for me has to be the Stephen Amell match, the Hollywood celebrity getting in the ring with Neville against Stardust and King Barrett. But guys, overall, I think SummerSlam is going to be a good night. They've got a lot of impressing to do tonight for the Brooklyn crowd, because it's a New York crowd that's going to be hot. They're going to be behind everything that they see, like they did last night at NXT. NXT have raised the bar from last night's show, so I'm hoping that the main roster guys can, get in their A game mode and put on a great show for everybody tonight watching on the WWE Network and also on pay-per-view. But I've got a couple of questions from you guys I want to answer shortly, but I'm going to bring this young guest of mine in as promised. This young lady was on the show a lot of weeks ago where you the fans, were really happy to hear her thoughts and obviously the knowledge that she had for all the age of her 10 years of age. This young lady's a big fan of the old WWF and WWF, WCW and NWA. She's a very big Bobby Heenan fan, a Bret Hart fan, and she loves Owen Hart's in-ring work as well. We had this lady on the show a lot of weeks ago, and she was very, very popular, and a lot of people wanted to see her back on. But she's here tonight. Brooke, grab a seat here beside us here. How are you since the last time you were on the show?
I'm fine today, and I can't wait for the show tonight.
Now, a lot of people were asking questions. We showed you the questions that people were sending to you. Not so much questions, just asking you when you were coming back on the show again. They were all giving you praise about the last time. Anything you want to say to the people who were tweeting into the show, saying that they enjoy your knowledge of wrestling?
Well, I want to say thanks, and usually people think that sometimes I'm a little crazy because I like wrestling because I'm a girl, but still.
But that's not the point. The point is the fact that you know so much because you watch back you prefer to watch all the old stuff than what you watch the new stuff now, but you're getting really into the new stuff now, especially with the new Divas.
Yeah, the new Divas are getting better as well.
Your thoughts on the match last night between Bayley and Sasha Banks? I
thought Bayley was pretty impressive. Sasha Banks, I don't know.
She's impressive, but Bayley really upped her game, didn't she?
Yeah, I liked her entrance, especially what she was wearing with her hairband, but for Bobby Heenan.
Oh no, Dusty Rhodes, you mean?
Dusty Rhodes, whatever you want to call him.
Whatever you want to call him. It was good to see that last night, so yeah. But SummerSlam tonight, Brooke. You're watching SummerSlam tonight. Any match stands out for you tonight? What about maybe Brock Taker, Cena, Rollins? Any other match stand out for you tonight?
I think the Brock and the Undertaker is going to help because I enjoyed watching the bit where they had this big fight and then all the wrestlers had to come out and grab them.
A few weeks on Raw ago?
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, so what do you think is going to happen tonight then? Who do you think is going to win?
I have to say Undertaker.
Oh, I don't know. Well, everybody's going to be pulling for the Undertaker's been booed the last few weeks because he's been kicking Brock Lesnar down south. So he has low blow on him and stuff. So it's a bit of a more evil, dirty side of the Undertaker. But do you think he's going to come out on top tonight?
Yeah.
I think the Brooklyn crowd are going to be behind Brock Lesnar tonight, but there you go. What about John Cena and Seth Rollins? I know you're not a big Cena fan. I know you always sing the song, John Cena sucks. I know you sing that song. You've never liked John Cena since you were no age, but who are you pulling for tonight? Do you think Cena's going to match Ric Flair's record and become a 16-time world champion tonight? Or do you think the Architect is going to become a double champion tonight?
I don't know, because Seth Rollins has been good the last couple of weeks, but then John Cena,
What do you think of his broken nose?
That was funny.
I knew you'd say, but it wasn't really gross. It
looked horrible.
Indeed, but who are you pulling for, Cena or Rollins?
I have to go for Cena no matter what.
Cena? Even though you don't like him?
I have to.
No, definitely not. Okay, the Divas match. Who are you going to win? Who do you think's going to win tonight? I know you were talking earlier on. I think you're going to be pulling for Paige, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch, aren't you? That one?
Yeah.
They are good, aren't they?
Yeah.
What about Kevin Owens and Cesaro? Who are you going to go for tonight in that one?
I'm not very sure because Cesaro is pretty good wrestler, and then Kevin Owens,
It's going to be pretty mad tonight after last night.
especially after last night.
You heard what he said on the interview after the show. He said he's going to break him.
Yeah. So good luck to Cesaro.
I think Cesaro's going to win tonight, though.
Yeah.
Sheamus, Mr. Money in the Bank against Randy Orton. I'm going to go with Randy Orton tonight.
Yeah, the RKO or the Maniac.
It's really funny, though, because people are saying that tonight that maybe Sheamus may cash in Money in the Bank tonight. Wouldn't it be really funny if Rollins or Cena even won and they were the United States champion and WWE champion, and then the next minute Sheamus came out and cashed in and they'd only end up leaving with the US title?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Sheamus, we all know he's Irish. We love him because he is Irish, but what's going on with that hair at the minute in the beard?
I know he's just went crazy.
He needs to get that nose piercing out too. But I'm looking forward to tonight, and another thing you liked watching over the last few weeks as well is the Summer Rae and Lana slap fest, should we say, with a big greasy fish and slapping each other and all. Dolph Ziggler, Rusev tonight. Who are you pulling for?
I have to go for Rusev.
Oh no.
Well, Dolph say, well, he's big. Rusev has the big, massive muscles, and then you just look at Dolph Ziggler, and he's like the wee, skinny, tiny one, and then like,
What do you like? You sound like somebody who doesn't know wrestling.
how dare you?
I'm kidding. But overall, you're looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, can't wait.
Okay. Well, that's Brooke, guys. Young Brooke. She's looking forward to tonight's SummerSlam. On to some of your questions that you sent in to us today on Twitter and also on our email account. At Outside the Rope on Twitter and also on email, outsidetheropes@yahoo.com. Email, first of all, from Alan, who emailed us last night. Alan, thank you very much for emailing again, saying, our thoughts on The Undertaker being more dirty. What's our thoughts on it? Is it maybe a possible heel turn? Do you think Sting will turn up tonight and interfere? As I already answered that a moment ago. I don't know why he's going dirty, to be honest with you, Alan, but do you think Sting will turn up tonight? I would love to see it. People want to see it. Whether that'll happen, I don't know, but thanks for your question, Alan. Thank you very much. A question in here from Susan. Great NXT event last night, guys. Your thoughts on it? Also, what's your thoughts on John Cena becoming a 16-time world champion? Do you really want me to answer that question? I'm kidding. Cena becoming a 16-time world champion. Should Ric Flair's record be met and maybe broken? Well, records aren't made to be broken. I never thought it would have been John Cena becoming a 16-time world champion, but for him to win tonight, I prefer Rollins as champion, to be quite honest with you, because he's getting really over as a heel, and he's really, really doing a very good job at it. So, I just want Rollins to win tonight. That's the bottom line. More question in here from, that's 4 or 5 here. More to answer. I'll pick this one here. Claire. Hi, Claire. How are you? Another one from Claire. Claire emails us quite a bit, so she does. This young lady, Claire, wants to know what's our thoughts on The Miz's current gimmick, and will he become an Intercontinental Champion tonight? The Miz is driving me bonkers. He's doing it to basically get over as a heel and be pissed the fans off, but yeah, I don't think he's going to win tonight. I think they're going to keep the title on the big man tonight, so I really don't know. I don't know. I think The Miz, at the minute, I just want to tear that wee stupid gown thing off and strangle him with it, but there you go. No comment. We've got a Corey Graves question. Wanted to know, did I watch his program on the network? Is it Culture Shock? Will he ever return to the ring? Have we heard that he'll ever return to the ring again? And this question is from a girl by the name of Chelsea. Hello, Chelsea. And she is from, where's she from? Oxford. Strange. I haven't had a question from Oxfordshire in a while. Actually, I had a question from but thanks very much for your question anyway, Chelsea. Corey Graves, no, for what I know, he's not going to wrestle again because he had too many concussions. WWE obviously have him as an announcer. He's a great announcer. I love listening to him, especially last night's event he done for NXT. He was fantastic as always, but he'll never wrestle again because he had too many concussions. I think his in-ring career is over. But he was a good competitor, and then obviously until he got injured. So, but Chelsea, to answer your question, I don't think he'll be back in the ring anytime soon. We've also got one in here from, let's have a look where we're from here. A question from Brian. Hello, Brian. How are you? Just like my middle name. Hi, Brian. How are you? Doesn't he say where he's from? Wants to know our thoughts on Taker and Brock Lesnar tonight. I've already give that to you. And he also wants to know, are we going to see a reunion, or as good as a match, between Bray and Luke against Roman and Dean Ambrose, because their matches in the past were that good? Are we going to see that type of match again, where it's going to be off the chain, as he says, quote, off the chain? Yeah, I think they're going to be, if it's as any good as what our matches were in the past, hell yeah. I think it's going to be a great match. Their matches before with the Wyatts versus the Shield were just show stealers. They were fantastic matches, all coming up from NXT. The matches they had at the pay-per-views recently in the last, 2 years ago, I think it's 2 years ago now, they were off the chain. But if there's anything like to go by with that there, tonight's match is going to be, again, great. But in closing, I think, as I said at the start of this podcast, they have to raise the bar tonight, because tonight's show has to be raised again because of what happened last night at NXT. The main roster guys are going to have to look at that and go, okay, well, these guys are not on the main roster yet, but they're doing better shows. So they're going to have to really raise their game tonight. So there you go. Well, thanks very much for your question anyway. Okay, guys, this is going to bring us to the end. I just want to give a wee quick shout out to our friends and partners of this podcast before I hit the road. Guys, if you're historians of wrestling, like this young lady who was on the show a minute ago, Brooke, and myself, and everybody else involved with this show, or if you're new to professional wrestling and you want to go back and check out all the history, Wrestling's Past is the location. Don't forget to check out their website, guys, wrestlingpast.blogspot.co.uk, and on Twitter at Wrestling's Past for their daily tweets on this day. They do every day, which is great. At the moment, they're doing SummerSlam tweets, so the history of SummerSlam. So if you want to go and check it out there and check out their website, wrestlingspast.blogspot.co.uk. Guys, I'm going to hit the road here, head on. We're back on the air this Wednesday, where we've got all the latest news and behind-the-scenes stories in the world of wrestling. And we're also going to review tonight's SummerSlam and also Monday Night Raw and all the other latest news and scoops going on in the world of professional wrestling. Guys, enjoy SummerSlam tonight. We'll be talking to you on our Twitter account at Outside the Rope on Twitter. You can tweet using the hashtag SummerSlam. Talk to us, or hashtag, well, let's put a hashtag everyone out there. Hashtag Ask Outside the Rope. There you go. We'll look forward to speaking to you tonight. Enjoy SummerSlam, guys. Whatever happens, whatever your favourite matches you're looking forward to. Thanks for your questions. Obviously, we couldn't get through them all. We'll have more on the air this coming Wednesday. So from your guest that was here, Brooks is now left. Big thank you from her. Thank you very much for your kind messages towards this young lady as well. It's just obviously thank you for that. And myself, the host Matthew, we'll see you all back on Wednesday for more discussion, news and scoops and all the other jazz that we come up with here on the show. Have a good SummerSlam, and we'll see you all on Wednesday.